There is a kind of victory most people never discover, not the kind that comes from confrontation, not from argument, revenge, or making someone pay for what they did to you, a deeper kind, quieter, more permanent. The kind where your enemy watches you succeed and realizes, with a clarity that is worse than any punishment you could have given them, that everything they did to hurt you only made you stronger. The Stoics were not naive about enemies. Marcus Aurelius spent decades at war. Seneca navigated one of the most dangerous courts in Roman history. Epictetus lived as a slave under a master who once broke his leg to prove a point. These were not men who avoided conflict. They simply understood something most people never do. The greatest weapon you will ever have is not your anger. It is your growth. In this video, 13 Stoic ways to destroy your enemy without fighting. Not with violence, not with revenge, with something far more powerful. Write in the comments right now, "I win," in silence. Say it before this video ends. Way 1. Become so focused on your own growth that you forget to hate them. This is the first and most important principle, and it sounds simple until you try it. Because hatred is seductive. It gives you something to organize your energy around, a clear target, a clear villain, a clear reason to feel justified in your pain. But Marcus Aurelius understood what hatred actually costs. He wrote that the person who is consumed by anger at another is like a man who drinks poison and waits for his enemy to die. Every hour you spend thinking about what they did to you is an hour you are not spending becoming who you are capable of being. Every ounce of energy that flows toward resentment is energy that flows away from your own evolution. The most devastating thing you can do to someone who tried to diminish you is to become so absorbed in your own becoming that you genuinely, truly forget to be angry at them. That indifference, earned through genuine growth, is the most complete victory possible. Way 2. Refuse to become what they expected you to become. Every enemy has a story they tell about you, a version of you that fits their narrative, that validates their treatment of you. You are weak. You will not survive this. You will fall apart. You will react badly. You will confirm everything they believe about you. The most powerful thing you can do is refuse that story entirely. Not through words, not through confrontation, through the simple, daily act of becoming something they never anticipated. Epictetus taught that the only things that truly belong to us are our choices and our character. Everything else, what people think of us, how they treat us, what they expect from us, belongs to them. When you take control of your choices and your character, you take the pen out of their hands. You write a different story, one they never saw coming, one they cannot argue with, cannot diminish, cannot take from you. Your becoming is the most complete form of revenge that exists. Way 3. Use their opposition as fuel. Every great Stoic philosopher understood this instinctively. Difficulty is not the enemy of growth. It is the condition for it. When someone opposes you, undermines you, or tries to destroy what you are building, they are, whether they intend to or not, offering you something valuable. They are showing you where your weaknesses are. They are testing the strength of what you are building. They are giving you a reason to push harder than comfort ever would. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea again and again in the Meditations. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your enemy's opposition is not blocking your path. It is clarifying it. It is adding pressure that, if you respond to it correctly, will forge something in you that ease never could. Thank them, not out loud, in your results. Way 4. Master your emotions completely. Here is what your enemy is hoping for when they provoke you: a reaction. Because a reaction tells them they still have power over you, that they can still reach into your inner world and disturb it, that they matter enough to move you. The Stoics considered emotional mastery to be the highest form of strength available to a human being, not the suppression of emotion, the mastery of it. Epictetus wrote that between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space lies your freedom. The practice of Stoicism is the practice of widening that space until no provocation, however severe, can bypass it. When your enemy provokes you and receives nothing in return, no anger, no defense, no visible disturbance, something shifts in the dynamic between you. You have demonstrated something they cannot take back, that you are beyond their reach, that their words land on stone, that they have lost the most important battle before the first blow was ever struck. Way 5. Let time be your weapon. Most conflicts feel urgent in the moment and irrelevant in hindsight. The person who wronged you, who seemed so powerful and so threatening at the time, often looks very different from a distance of months or years. Their actions reveal themselves for what they were. Their character becomes apparent to everyone around them. The truth, which has a way of surfacing regardless of how carefully it is buried, does its slow and inevitable work. Seneca wrote that time reveals all things. That patience is not passive. It is one of the most active and powerful choices available to us. While your enemy is focused on the short game, on winning today's argument, today's confrontation, today's perception war, you are playing a longer game, one they cannot see because they are too focused on the immediate. Let them win the moment. You will take the decade. Way 6. Build something they cannot ignore. The most unanswerable response to someone who tried to diminish you is undeniable success. Not success performed for their benefit, not success designed to make them feel bad. Genuine success. Work that matters, a life that reflects your values, something built with your hands and your mind that stands on its own, regardless of whether they acknowledge it. Marcus Aurelius did not build one of the most enduring philosophical legacies in human history to prove a point to his enemies. He built it because it was the right thing to do, because it was an expression of who he was. But the effect on those who doubted him, who underestimated him, who tried to use his position against him, was the same. The work spoke, and there was nothing left to argue with. Build your work, build your life, build it so well that the argument becomes impossible. Way 7. Forgive them without telling them. This is the one that surprises people the most. Forgiveness, in the Stoic tradition, is not something you do for the other person. It is something you do for yourself. Because carrying hatred is weight. It slows you down. It occupies space in your mind that could be used for something that matters. It keeps you tethered to a moment in the past when you could be building your future. Marcus Aurelius practiced a form of forgiveness that never required the other person to deserve it, to ask for it, or even to know it had been given. He simply chose to release the weight of his grievance, not because the other person had earned release, but because he valued his own peace more than the satisfaction of holding on. Forgive them privately, completely, without expectation of anything in return, not for them, for the version of you that deserves to move forward unburdened. Way 8. Outgrow the version of you they attacked. Your enemy attacked a specific version of you, a version that existed at a specific point in time, with specific vulnerabilities, specific weaknesses, specific limitations. The most complete victory is to make that version of you obsolete, to grow so far beyond who you were when they hurt you that their attack no longer even fits. Like an arrow shot at a target that has moved so far, the arrow lands in empty space. This is not about escaping who you were. It is about honoring who you are becoming, about taking the wound they gave you and using it as instruction, as direction, as information about where the work needs to happen. Epictetus said that every difficulty contains within it the material for growth. The question is always whether you have the courage to use it. Use it. Outgrow the target they were aiming at. Make their attack the most useful thing they ever did for you. Way 9. Protect your inner circle fiercely. Your enemy is most dangerous not when they face you directly, but when they reach the people around you. The rumors they spread, the doubts they plant, the subtle undermining of your reputation in the minds of the people whose trust you value. The Stoics were deliberate about their inner circle. They chose carefully who had access to their thoughts, their plans, and their vulnerabilities, not out of paranoia, out of wisdom. Seneca wrote that we must be selective about who we allow into our confidence, because what we share with the wrong person becomes a weapon in their hands. Protect your inner circle, not by building walls, but by being deliberate, by choosing people whose character you know, by sharing your deepest plans only with those who have demonstrated through their actions over time that they can be trusted with them. Your enemy cannot reach what they cannot find. Way 10. Live so well that your life becomes the argument. There is a version of winning that requires no confrontation, no defense, and no explanation. It is simply living. Living so fully, so deliberately, so aligned with your values, that the quality of your life becomes its own statement, not a statement you make, a statement that makes itself. Marcus Aurelius never needed to announce his virtue. It was visible in how he governed, how he treated people, how he faced difficulty, how he showed up in the hardest moments of his reign. Your life, lived with genuine integrity and genuine purpose, is the most eloquent response you will ever give to anyone who tried to diminish you. Live it, not for them, for yourself, and let the argument settle itself. Way 11. Never explain yourself to them. The moment you feel the need to explain yourself to your enemy, you have already given them something they do not deserve. Your attention, your energy, the implicit acknowledgement that their opinion of you matters enough to correct. The Stoics were extraordinarily disciplined about this. They understood that explanation, in the wrong context, is not clarity. It is vulnerability. It is handing the other person a map of what you care about, so they can aim more precisely next time. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best response to criticism from a person of poor character is silence and continued excellence, because excellence over time makes the criticism irrelevant. You do not owe anyone an explanation for who you are or what you are building, least of all the people who have demonstrated they are not capable of receiving it honestly. Let your work explain itself. Let your life explain itself. And say nothing. Way 12. Be grateful for what they revealed. This requires a particular kind of maturity, but it is one of the most transformative shifts available to you. Your enemy revealed something you needed to know about people, about dynamics, about your own vulnerabilities, about who in your life was genuinely in your corner and who was not, about where your boundaries needed to be stronger, about what you were capable of surviving. None of that knowledge comes without cost, but all of it is valuable. The Stoics believed that difficulty is the university of character, that the challenges and the people who create them are, in the deepest sense, teachers, not kind ones, but effective ones. Be grateful for what you learned, not for what they did, for what their doing revealed. That gratitude is not weakness. It is the highest form of wisdom, the ability to extract value from even the most painful experiences. Way 13. Become someone they have to respect. This is the final and most complete victory, not someone they like, not someone they approve of, someone they have to respect. Respect, unlike approval, cannot be withheld by the envious. It cannot be denied by the resentful. It is not something they give you willingly. It is something your actions force them to acknowledge against their will. When you have built something real, lived with genuine integrity, grown beyond every obstacle they put in your way, and done it all without lowering yourself to their level, something happens that they never anticipated. They have to respect you, even if they hate that they do. That is the Stoic victory. Not revenge, not punishment, not even acknowledgement. Just the quiet, undeniable, impossible to argue with reality of a life well lived. That is the ViaStoica, the Stoic path. And it was never about destroying your enemy. It was always about becoming someone they could never destroy. If this video gave you something you needed today, subscribe to ViaStoica. Every week, ancient wisdom for the battles that actually matter. Write in the comments the one way from this video you are going to use. I read every single one. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, 2,000 years ago, still true today. See you on the path.